Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Community Podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of February 26th, 2023. We are on a new system. This should be better. I'm excited. This is also apparently is good for streaming. So when we start doing, more media content as this media empire takes over, we now have the ability to stream things and, it's going to be great. That's what people want.
Are we on camera right now?
So that's my one line, right? Is that I know so many podcasts do video now. And I just can't bring myself to be like, I think we should do that.
I do not wish to be perceived.
No, I have literally no reason for that. The idea of, I'm trying to think of like the first podcast I ever saw was video, is probably the old, they called it co-optional podcasts with Total Biscuit on like YouTube back in the day. And they had a video podcast that they did like 3 hours every Tuesday, which was way too much.
And I feel like this face would need 3 hours of makeup before being.
That's the other thing. Is I don't want to have to be presentable.
Sickos committee. We have a face for radio.
Yes. That's why podcasting is wonderful. It doesn't require you to have a charmingly good face. It just lets you be me, and it's fine. Well, folks, we had a
Jordan, did you forget something?
Whatever. I'll introduce myself. My name's Jordan. I'm awesome. Then I got 3 people with me. I don't know about them. They're fine, I guess. Now, I've got ChickenSedan, I've got PittGirl, and I have Andrew. ChickenSedan, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Our neighbors building the home next door. We're looking at their place, looking paint samples. So we stopped over, we talked to them, went out to dinner. Had ourselves a nice little friendly dinner.
Good.
We've met them before. Go to trivia most weeks with them, so it's not like a brand new thing.
That's very aggressive for a first meeting, but I'm glad that you had some
time.
Hey, girl, how are you?
I'm good. I have recently returned from Pittsburgh, which I will talk about a little bit more later in the show. But I would like to take this moment to shout out Benny Fierro's on the South Side, home of insanely large slices of pizza. Like 2 of those like paper, like white plates, one slice takes up 2 of those.
Gotcha.
10 out of 10, strongly recommend.
There's a pizza place in Dallas called Cane Rosso, which is sort of like our wood-fired Neapolitan-style pizza place. And they've opened up many more of them. Originally, it was just a guy with a wood-fire oven behind his truck. He used to go to wine bars. But then people complained that, it wasn't real pizza because it's Neapolitan pizza. So it's the little, little small ones. And so he opened up a New York-style pizza place as his own competition. And they would just shit talk each other on Twitter all the time about how the other one wasn't real pizza. And then next to one of those, they've also opened a Detroit style pizza place at this point. So now he basically owns pizza in this town.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I
was gonna have to interject with some Detroit pizza love. The opportunities there. We got to measure pizza vertically as well as horizontally.
Mm-hmm. I should say, for additional context, that Pittsburgh has like the most bars per capita of any American city, and 75% of them are in Southside. So the giant pizza slice place is in Southside for a reason.
It's got its target.
And I was there at like midnight last night. So you guys do the math.
Best slice of pizza you've ever had is what you're telling me.
Yep.
At the Flats area?
Yeah. So there's Southside Flats and Southside Slope. The bars are on the flat, and then people live on the slope.
I once stayed at an Airbnb like on the very top of the slopes. We went down to the flats for dinner, and we were in our 30s, so I felt very old for this place.
There are a lot of Pitt students generally don't drink on Southside because it's kind of a pain to get there from Oakland if you're taking transit. But Duquesne students go there a lot, and the people that I was there with, some of them are Duquesne alumni. So shout out also to Jekyll and Hyde, which is a fun Halloween themed bar with very, very sweet cocktails if you want to relive your early college years.
Nice. No, I don't. I really don't, but I'm glad that's an option.
They have beer too. I got a $4 random can. I regret nothing.
Nice.
Andrew, how are you, sir?
Good. Can I tell the story of the Sickos sports that I've attended here of late?
Absolutely.
So, Ohio State the men lost on Thursday. Yes, Friday, they played a great game against the women played a great game against Maryland. Comes down to the end. They put a bank shot back in with 0.5 seconds left, and it was late, so they lost.
Oh.
Then I'm at Columbus Blue Jackets, Edmonton Oilers. Columbus
Okay.
goes up 4-0. Then they give up 4 goals because Connor McDavid is not human. That guy's amazing. But then they win 6-5, and they're like the worst team in the league. So they won, and that was great. And then today, Ohio State beat Illinois, which was very funny. And the Thursday game was the one, if people saw on the Twitter, that Ohio State was down, the men were down 4, and they shot 5 threes that all missed it in like the last 8 seconds. So
Yeah, that was
it's been a sickos weekend of sporting events here, but
dear,
I'm well.
dear God.
It's good. The weather is also strange. I don't know how it's been in other parts of the country, but it's been 70 one day and then 40 another day.
Yeah.
So it's just like random number generator sort of stuff, which is really great for your sinuses and not getting a headache. So that's good. But otherwise, I'm good.
If
Hey,
Beth
did you
were
get
here,
ice
she would
last
call that
week?
Pennsylvania weather, and she would be correct.
Yeah. It's very Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana weather.
Did you catch that ice storm that came through?
Thankfully the ice storm missed me, but I did see the photos. The ice storm was like further north up by Michigan.
Yeah, everything here was just completely frozen.
Apparently,
Yeah.
apparently through Oklahoma tonight, they're having like 100-mile-per-hour winds, just like normal shit, you know.
Well, it was
Yeah,
snowing
they're-
in LA yesterday.
Oh yeah, and,
actually, I put something in the show notes about the ice storm here. We'll actually
raining in
touch base.
Vegas.
That was a lot of rain too.
was a
That wasn't
lot.
like a sprinkle. That was like a downpour.
We'll talk about that one as well. Kamish is on assignment still. He's currently stuck in traffic getting home from the San Antonio Brahmas game. The Brahmas had a good win tonight against Orlando. I am still in an XFL phase where I'm enjoying it. The sport, we're on week 2. We'll see if that excitement continues. I don't know that I can like get that much excitement to keep going, but we'll see what happens. We'll start with college football things since that's ostensibly our brand. The Pac-12 can't seem to find a home for their television. And it's kind of funny. We did, however, learn what Ion TV was this week. I did not know what Ion TV was. And apparently it is where you go to watch things like Blue Bloods, Bones, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Criminal Mind, all the NCISs, Leverage, something called Leverage Redemption. Also, did you know the MacGyver reboot got 5 seasons?
There was a MacGyver reboot?
Yes.
5
This is
seasons.
dude, the other one is, did you know the Hawaii Five-0 reboot got 10 seasons?
That I
When was
believe.
the MacGyver reboot?
The MacGyver reboot was between 16 and 21. 2016,
Oh,
2021.
so recent. Oh.
Yeah.
And yet they gave Emmys to The Good Place.
I will fight you on that. Do not go, do not
It's a
even
joke, The
do
Good
not
Place
even
for me.
do not even mess with the Good Place.
It's a good show.
I'll go to the mattresses on that one. Apparently the MacGyver reboot takes place in the same fictional universe as the Hawaii Five-0 and Magnum PI reboots.
Sure. Huh. I will
We
say
just
that,
can't have new things.
yeah, I will say that I was familiar with the existence of Ion TV because the target demographic for that channel is my mom.
Okay.
So yeah, you got all
I'm
of your
looking-
NCISs in one place.
I mean, it just sounds like when you is it actually pronounced Ion TV and not Ion TV?
It's Ion like the the charged atom. Yes, they
Yeah,
used
but
to
the
have
way you're
branding that was like
pronouncing
the
it-
little plus.
Yes, but the way you're pronouncing it makes me think like a local news. Ion traffic.
Oh,
No,
am I saying
absolutely.
Ion?
Oh, Ion, yeah.
Making fun of the way I say things. By the way, the tagline for Ion TV was positively entertaining.
I
Which
like
is
that.
cute.
I like it.
They used to be PAX TV apparently, which was also again something where people it was on an HD channel that you got over the air that you would occasionally flip to because you found out that you had, and it would have lots of things like MacGyver.
Well, they could just rebrand back to that when they add Pac-12.
Right.
Back
But
to-
apparently they're not getting the Pac-12, which everyone was very happy for a little while, and then everyone started thinking about what other like weird channels could we put that Pac-12 on.
CW. I want them on the CW.
CW along with LIV. And then we also got people going back, well, let's just bring back UPN or the WB, and then just remembering things that used to be on the UPN and WB. I'd forgotten, by the way, that so I was surprise, I'm a big Star Trek person. I remember when Enterprise came out. I remember it came out in 2001 when I was in high school, but I didn't remember that it came out 2 weeks after 9/11.
Whoa.
Like that's what they thought that we needed as a country to get us through the dark times was Scott Bakula. And let's be honest here. It helped. It helped the country, I'm sure. That first season of Enterprise, however, was kind of rough. I won't lie. I was also watching lots of Star Trek Voyager on UPN. UPN was known for wrestling, weren't they? That was they had like WWF Raw or one of those. I think they were a wrestling channel. Like that was their big draw originally.
I feel like if they were wrestling, it would have been WCW for sure.
That's probably. I just remember that they had Star Trek, and they had Star Trek, they had wrestling, and then they had Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like the Sarah Michelle Gellar show, which that works great. I found this out, by the way, because not like before as a separate joke, I found out that first off, did you know the first XFL game had like 15 million viewers? I'd forgotten how big the original XFL like opening weekend was. It was huge, like 15 million viewers. And then the second game was on UPN because it had to be WWF because Vince McMahon owned it. And that was part of the deal. Right. They put it on UPN. And the drop off was just hilarious. But that original XFL was not great for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, they actually aired SmackDown.
That was the one where their big selling point was, we're going to go into cheerleaders' locker rooms. Oh, yeah, it was real. It was real gross.
The one thing about the XFL, the original incarnation that I thought was great was instead of a coin flip, they just had the two fastest guys line up at the end zone and have to grab the football like it's a game of Snatch the Egg.
Wait, have you guys ever seen this?
Like they capture the flag start.
Hold up, let me find it because they stopped doing it because it literally became too dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like it would likely engender some safety issues.
Oh, hold on.
Didn't somebody get injured like the first weekend doing this?
Can I do this? Hold up. Let's see this. Screen share.
Ooh.
They also advertised no fair catches on punts, which just led to fewer punts.
So fancy.
No way, Jose.
I think the audio actually will go in too, so we'll see what happens.
XFL, we're going to compete for the right to choose who possesses the ball at the start of the game. 2 players, 1 ball.
Man, TV in the
that's
early
a
2000s
lesser
so
known.
No, wait, that's no boring crybabies.
Beautiful.
2 players, 1 ball.
So
Whoever possesses the ball gets his choice, not only for the start of the game, but also for overtime.
1 man enters, 1 man leaves.
Yeah, this is like Matt Thunderdome.
To win the scramble, you must have full possession. Representing the New York, New Jersey Hitmen, number 21, safety, Donnie Caldwell.
They had the camera on the Outlaws player.
Yeah.
When he announced the
For
Hitman
the Las Vegas Outlaws, number 28, safety, Jamel Williams. Let's go to head referee, Randy Crystal.
Okay, once again, guys, it's going to be ready, set.
Those socks, man.
Don't jump and go for the ball, not each other. Ready,
Whistle.
set.
Couple of safeties going to scramble for the right position. The hometown hero is on it, but the ball's still alive. Jamel Williams jumps on it. Yes. And the hometown guys have right to kick or receive. We haven't even started yet, Buddy, and the place is already going nuts.
Amazing. That was great.
It's great.
Amazing.
That was the thing that happened. Oh my god.
I see why that caused injuries.
Yeah, no, so that it became very dangerous because you can tell them not to go for each other. But yeah, exactly right. I still to cut back to the Pac-12 real fast. I do think that Samsung refrigerators are still gonna be your best bet to watch Pac-12 football next year. I have no clue how they're going to consummate this media deal like they want to. We'll put it that way.
I think they should contact somebody within the bowling alley world, and instead of those little animations they give you when you throw a strike or a spare, they just show you highlights from last week's games.
We'll replace the dancing hot dog and the dancing popcorn and the hot dog that does flips at drive-in movie theaters between the features with the Pac-12 Network.
Perfect.
Let's go down to the movie.
Let's all go watch the Pac-12.
There we go. Oh, yes. I love it. We will jump to the XFL since we were already there, and that just happened to be in Vegas. So week 2 of the XFL there was a Thursday night game. Thursday night game was fine. it was interesting because Seattle's playing in it's not called Quest Field anymore, whatever it's called, whatever the Seahawks stadium is.
It has a new name, but it's Quest Field.
Yeah, and so like that, it's a great stadium. Seattle always, it wasn't packed, but it was full-ish. It was but weird weather. It was really cold out, so like whatever. That worked great. And then we get to the Saturday night game in Vegas. I want you guys to imagine where they're going to play an XFL game in Vegas. Okay. You go, well, maybe in, was it Allegiant Stadium, whatever it's called, where the Raiders play?
Mm-hmm.
UNLV's home stadium?
That's probably too big, and expensive to rent, so probably not going to do that. Okay, well, where else can we put them? Well, UNLV has a stadium still, right? They have Sam Boyd. Turns out that UNLV actually signed a non-compete to get into Allegiant Stadium. They get paid $3.5 million a year by the Raiders to basically shut Sam Boyd down.
Oh, okay.
So they can't use Sam Boyd for anything without giant contractual issues. So where do you put the XFL? And if you guys don't know the answer to this, I'm going to I'll put a picture in the Discord for it.
Well, as soon as someone said what it was, I knew what it was, but I did not realize that they had to literally paint on the grass and that there were no stands on the other half of the field because it's just a minor league baseball stadium.
Because it is just exactly right. It is a minor league.
Googling
what
it
level minor
because
league
it came up before. I remember Googling this during a show recording because it's actually an MLS stadium that used to be a baseball stadium, but it still looks like a baseball stadium.
Do you know what level the minor league baseball team was?
AAA.
It was AAA.
Oh, okay.
Pacific Coast League. They got a new stadium.
Like that, yeah. I was gonna say that looks small for a AAA team.
It is. It is as square as you can get. It is square as hell, and
it looks like an iOS icon.
It does. It has that. It's a squircle. Is that the term? The
yes.
Squircle. Yeah, it looks like a squircle. The worst part is that they have the stadium going in such a way that they can't use the press boxes. So they had to set up scaffolding.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna look deeply unsafe.
I'm gonna post that picture in the Discord because it is just insane.
Can I say that on that Google Earth view of the stadium, my favorite thing is right next to it says ATM temporarily closed.
Everything about this picture is incredibly bleak.
Apparently, the Las Vegas Neon Museum is right down the road, and it's very fun.
That's less bleak.
That's what the press box looked like.
That looks post-apocalyptic.
And here's what it looked like from the outside view, like from the like.
They're like watching
American Ninja Warriors.
Right. It looks like an American Ninja Warrior setup. Although I would be even more concerned about this one holding up to anything.
It is on FX, so it could be the double feature.
Good God.
Plot twist.
It looked like it just didn't feel viable. Okay, yes, you're right. It's Vegas. The grass grows dormant, gotta paint it. That's fine, whatever.
So
Turf was really rough. It rained yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It never fucking rains in Vegas. And that didn't just rain, it rained hard in Vegas. And so the kickers were slipping, and it was a nightmare. The game was an actual nightmare to go through. And the announcers kept talking about how wonderful this stadium is and after saying how wonderful things were there for the whole game, that's when they show the shot of them in the press box. In the scaffolding.
Comedy.
I just can't believe that UNLV football agreed to that. Like, jumping back a little bit, like, they are going to regret making that deal to play in that cavernous stadium that they're never going to be able to fill. Like, you think it's bad? I don't know what their deal is like, but like people dunk on Pitt for attendance all the time. This is going to be a Temple situation very quickly. And in terms of attendance, and if this ends up being a longer term deal, UNLV is also going to have a perfectly good stadium just sitting there rotting. On
the other hand, the way things are going, maybe they join the Pac-12.
Yeah, that's true.
No, that is true.
But ugh.
The Vegas Vipers joining the Pac-12, or
that would be fine too. Academic stalwarts, the Vegas Vipers. Some other people mentioned that Bishop Gorman, which is one of the big high schools out there. That stadium is actually a pretty nice stadium, but it only seats around 5,000, which was under what the XFL wanted, I believe. But still, man, it looked rough. And especially considering the XFL has actually gotten to some, like, they are playing at mostly pretty good location. You got the Alamo Dome, the Citrus Bowl, whatever they're calling that now. It's not, or they're playing at Houston Stadium. They're playing at the old ballpark in Arlington.
Audi Field.
Right. Like, these are legitimate things. And then and this is the team they moved to. Remember, this was the team. I forget where they moved this team from, but this was a move. No, it was from San Diego, I believe. They moved it from San Diego to Vegas and then only had this field option. The fuck are you doing? I know why you want to be in Vegas, but
they could just play at San Diego State Stadium, and that would be great.
Snapdragon, brand new stadium.
Brand new. Yeah.
This made it look so much cheaper than they've been trying. They've been trying so hard to make it look like this is real football, and this looked cheap. And like, that's the kind of shit you can't get away with when you're trying to be an upstart spring league. It can't look cheap, and this looked cheap anyways.
That's a quality rant.
I want this to
Love
work.
it.
I kind of want, like, I kind of want this to work, and it just, this is not going to. If you click on Roger Sherman's tweet in the show notes, you can see what they were kicking into and how bad the field looked. Like, it was a nightmare. And like I said, it's raining. It never rains in Vegas. I get that, but it's got to be better. Anyways, have you guys seen the parrot at the softball game?
Yes.
You see the parrot?
No, I'm so glad that I have now, though.
Yeah, it's great. The parrot at the softball game makes me so happy.
Landed right on the home plate umpire.
The home plate umpire just being like, I have a parrot now. And then someone else just walking up and doing the classic, like, I'm just going to stick my finger out and pick up the bird move to get the parrot out of the game. So good.
That's UCF's ground crew, because they're playing this game at UCF Stadium. This is a tournament. And so UCF's ground crew dude just shows up. Like I assume every Floridian is able to handle wildlife. So I assume this is just sort of like what they do.
Yeah, that's
they claim they're able to handle wildlife.
Our good friend Matt Brown at Extra Points actually fired some emails off today to the grounds crew at UCF to ask them how often this kinds of thing happens. Because clearly,
I demand to know.
Have you guys ever been to medieval times?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, actually, not medieval times. I've only been to the one at the Excalibur in Vegas.
Okay. So one of the medieval times things they do, I think, at all the castles, is they have a falconer. And they do this little like falcon thing where they spin the lure and the falcon dives in and out, and it's really cool. But they're always very big, like, okay, don't hold your food up while the falcon's in the air. Don't clink your drinks. Don't, because they have you like these pewter mugs. Don't do all this shit. Okay, fine. I have been to one where the falcon like lost control.
Oh no.
Because the falcon, the lure they were using to get the falcon to loop snapped. And the falcon no longer had a lure to follow, so it was just doing like circles inside the arena, and the voice very quickly, breaking the realism. Please, ladies and gentlemen in the castle, please put your hands down and do not move as we recover the falcon. And this very much felt like that, with like the falconer climbing into the audience, to get the falcon off of the Blue Knight section.
You want to hear my experience with exotic wildlife?
Yes.
So it actually was a parakeet. I was working like a summer job, like we were training at a zoo, so we were going around doing all the different stations. Back when I wanted to like do zoology stuff, we were feeding them in the back area because they were just introduced to the zoo, like the aviary section. And we're feeding them. We're putting the food in the feeder, and one of them latched onto my ear and wouldn't let go.
Nice.
For like 5 minutes.
Cool.
It was not great.
And
so
you still have that earlobe. Good for you.
Yeah, I do. And it wasn't pierced by the beak thing.
I was about to ask. Did you
impromptu earring?
So I want to go back to that video for 1 second. So that parrot landed on the ump's shoulder, and it was there for a few seconds. Do you think maybe Bobby Cox trained a parrot to go land on an umpire's shoulder and just swear at it for a while?
Potentially. This will show you.
I'm saying that parrot immediately. I'm glad they ejected the parrot because you can't do that with an ump. You can't touch him.
Sure.
That's it right there. Can't do that. Can't do that. I went to the Dallas Zoo this weekend, and you guys all know the Dallas Zoo's had some issues.
Yes.
You take anything home?
I didn't. That part of the joke was that I was going to go and just sort of figure out what I wanted. They didn't have a capybara, but they had an anteater that I was like, that's good. But I did go see the cloud leopard that escaped, and I did go see the emperor tamarins that were stolen. Everyone seems to be very happy. I don't know if you guys remember when the cloud leopard escaped, they were very clear, like, oh, don't worry, this isn't a dangerous leopard. This is just a small leopard.
That's not reassuring.
I remember it being a little bigger, like kind of big. And I went and I saw it. I was like, I would not call that a small leopard. It was big. It was large. So that was fun.
It's a less than lethal leopard.
Right. And of course it was just like an asshole cat because when it got out, what did it do? It just sat, in a tree nearby its enclosure for 6 hours and no one could see it because it fucking blends into trees because it's a leopard and meant to blend into trees. We have a new Substack series coming out. Kamish is starting this. He likes much after we're still trying to find more coaches that have done weird stints, but we're now moving on also to whatever happened to this conference. And have you guys ever heard about the Border Conference?
Can I propose a question? I have not, but
yeah, go for it.
I propose that everybody here guesses what said border is.
That is true. Yes. Wait, what border do you think we're talking about?
Oh yeah, it's what I thought it was. Yes, it's like New Mexico.
Oh, I was gonna say Carolinas.
Okay.
It's the Mason-Dixon, actually.
Because when you drive on 95 South and you pass from North to South Carolina, you get the very tasteful South border.
Oh no!
With the incredibly not offensive to anybody mascot.
Yes, definitely 100% authentic theming at south of the border. The best thing about south of the border, having been there once when I was like 11 and realizing that it was not great even then, is the billboards.
Oh yeah.
You get billboards starting like 300 miles out and you can just count them to amuse yourself. I do recommend that.
South of the border is just sort of like Southern Breezewood.
Don't slander Breezewood like that. Breezewood has actual utility. It's not just a tourist trap. South of the border is actually just a tourist trap.
I know. It generates
what is this?
Traffic violations, probably.
Oh, I'm sure that the town of Breezewood, insofar as there is one, runs off of revenue from the businesses that are in that strip and traffic violations. I am absolutely sure.
Every time I'm traveling back through Pennsylvania, I really want to stop at the Black and Gold store.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, it's like the largest Black and Gold store in the state. I drove past the billboard today. I did not go through Breezewood, though.
In this state implies that there's a Black and Gold store in some other state, nationality, principality that's larger.
It might say in the world. I don't remember. The billboard was actually... the billboard is eastbound, and I drove...
Uh-oh. Did we just mute her? Did she just lose her?
We lost her.
Yeah.
She's going on a good rant here. I can see
it was good. It was such a good rant. I didn't even go to mute her myself.
Yeah, sorry to spoil the fun that I knew the conference.
No, that's good.
We're doing great.
It's great. We're doing fine. Wait for it.
Oh, muted.
She's thinking about it. Let's see if it works now.
Oh.
Okay. You hear us?
You're still muted in the program.
Oh, there we go.
No.
Nope. Nope.
The hate
that was great. That reaction. Oh, mwah.
Perfect.
It was beautiful. Oh my God, it was so good. By the way, near Cashman Field is also the Las Vegas Natural History Museum, which seems curious.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. There we go.
He's back.
Yeah, switching from my $300 nice headphones that have decided that the call is over in the middle of the call twice to whatever these are.
Are they skull candies?
They may as well be.
There you go.
The audio is actually not bad. I won't lie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Noted.
So the Border Conference had, at its max, I believe, 9 members. 9. This was a hell of a conference, guys. I'm gonna start listing. I'm gonna list them as the names that they were back in the day. So we have West Texas State, Texas Tech, Hardin-Simmons, and Texas Mines in Texas. We have New Mexico and New Mexico A&M in New Mexico. And we have Arizona, Arizona State at Tempe, and Arizona State at Flagstaff. That's not a bad conference.
Imagine it for basketball now when U of A is like so much better than everybody else.
Yeah, no, that's nowadays. But however, Texas Tech basketball occasionally, okay.
Not this year, but
not this year.
Previous, yes.
Consider Arizona State.
Yeah,
well, they did win on Saturday.
Ayo.
So yeah, we're going to start talking about more of these defunct conferences. In that conference, by the way, all of those schools are still D1 except for Hardin-Simmons, who's now D3, and West Texas State, which is now West Texas A&M, and Canyon, which is now D2. So we're going to talk more about defunct college football conferences because that Wikipedia article is super fun. I'm excited to see when the Pac-12 goes on there.
Hey.
Also, we also have when Florida State leaves, because everyone knows that the SEC is going to welcome Florida State in with open arms. Florida will just be like, "Come on in, guys."
Yeah, that's no. It's actually great for Florida because that's one more game every 2 years. They don't have to leave the state.
It's true.
Along with our other Substack, we'll be talking about Kevin Steele and his journey this week. It's not nearly as far because he stayed mostly in like a certain area, but it has been a lot of jobs. Again, also, I don't know what he did as director of player personnel at Alabama in 2013, but that was his job title. Who knew?
Sounds fake.
It sounds fake. The other thing I wanted to say was that... Nope, lost it. Never mind. I'll cut that part. My brain just totally lost it.
Leave it in.
My kid was an absolute shit today, and I this evening was just... was a rough one, so my brain is just not flowing smooth. Oh, I know what we need to do. I wanted to do our colleagues over at the Fullcast did their great SEC draft for their permanent opponents, and I thought it would be funnier and more appropriate for us eventually if we do a draft for all the other conferences.
Yes.
So we find every other conference and pick everyone's 3 permanent rivals. I think that would be funny. So that's a going forward kind of thing. But I believe that it is time for basketball.
Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it!
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay.
Andrew, what do you got?
So Idaho State had quite a week.
Yeah, they did.
They brought back the King Spud Trophy, and they beat University of Idaho. And then that was on Thursday. And then on Saturday, they ended Eastern Washington's winning streak in conference. So that circle has been completed because Eastern Washington, that was their first conference loss.
I dropped King Spud in the chat in case people haven't seen King Spud. I love King Spud so much. Yeah, no, he's a cute one. What can I say?
He looks like Mac Tonight's cousin who's had a little more fun in his life.
This is the first time that the Bengals have gotten King Spud in a long time? Since like the 70s?
Could not find the information. It's lost the time.
Okay. Lost the time. Okay, that's fine. We
could look for it, but
ending Eastern Washington's win streak was super impressive. Eastern Washington has been absolute fire down the stretch. And for Idaho State to win that one was huge. Good God.
Sickos question. Is the basketball court red too? Because if it isn't, it should be.
Oh, is it?
I think it might be.
Yes.
They were 16-0 in conference, running an 18-game winning streak.
Oh, you're gonna be so sad, PittGirl.
No,
it's not. It was.
I'm gonna post it. No.
It's just normal.
Oh.
It's not even normal. It's just it's even boring for college basketball. It's college basketball. Everyone has fucking crazy.
Yeah, look up Cal State Bakersfield. That's the best one. That is the best one.
Everyone Googles.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's incredible.
That's a lot, guys. The
Oh,
one that
God.
actually, besides the TCU one that actually makes me physically ill to look at,
I love that one.
the one that I really like is the Colorado State's that has the weird effect.
Do you like? Oh yeah, the ram horns. Yeah. Do you like the Oregon one with like
I
the
love
trees?
the Oregon one.
Yeah, it's
That
great.
one's really nice.
The Colorado State one gives me slight vertigo.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh.
The having it like circle in on the free throw arc, like really just like the lines don't match up with the 3-point arc, and it's just it's hard to look at. I love it.
There should be an achievement for going there and then hitting every spot in that Nautilus shell.
That's how you have to, like, you play horse like that, right? You play horse by like scooting around the edge on that.
You could do some sort of like halftime entertainment, like the kid that hit the free throws and got the half court shot and got a free apartment at Pitt a couple weeks ago. But you just make a shot from every point in X amount of time, and you win some fabulous prize.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the Eastern Washington KenPom page to look at their non-conference because they started 4-7 and now they've won 18 in a row until Saturday. They played some early season games in both Hawaii and Florida. So who's really winning here? You know,
that's living the good life.
Getting those miles.
All right. So next up, we have to talk about all the buzzer beaters, especially the ones that happened today and yesterday. So the ones today, Iowa women, Caitlin Clark.
That was
incredible.
insane.
And it was a sick shot. And she said afterwards to Holly Rowe, I thought it was money. So Queen, beautiful.
Good God.
And Indiana was also like on a long winning streak. So now they're 26-2.
Ooh.
Michigan and Wisconsin played a basketball game, and it was sicko as usual. Michigan hit a buzzer beater to send it to overtime. Hunter Dickinson just kind of threw it up and it went in. So that was fun. I'm not partisan or anything. ASU beat Arizona on a buzzer beater on Saturday, which was awesome for those who don't like Arizona, like yours truly. San Diego State over New Mexico at the Pit. New Mexico's uniforms, amazing, excellent, turquoise, land of enchantment. And finally, Florida State over Miami, which was the biggest comeback in ACC history.
Thank you, Knowles.
What was the lead in that game?
I think it was 26 points.
Dear God.
99.2 percentage on one of those like trackers for winning was Miami's max, and they blew the game. So good job. And they're probably still going to win the conference. It might be Pitt. Hopefully it'll be Pitt.
I would say, yeah, but be careful. We need to shout out Lindenwood University, the Lindenwood Lions. They are in the Ohio Valley Conference, and they made the conference tournament their first year in.
Yeah, they beat SEMO like on a crazy, like another one of those win percentage charts that was like a earthquake hit where it was, or a parabola, like down and up and then down again, and they won in overtime. So that was pretty crazy. So also on Saturday in Iowa, so big weekend for Iowa hoops being sicko, which that's normal. They were down 10, the men, and then Fred McCaffrey decided to stare down the ref, and they went on a 27-14 run against Michigan State and won in overtime.
What was the point of the stare down? Because I saw this.
He had gotten a technical foul earlier in the game.
Okay.
And he decided to just kind of have a stare down contest.
Okay, like I'm daring you to call something, or just
while his team was like having a timeout and discussing offensive strategy. So I don't really know why.
Good use of time. Okay,
involved in that. He's a special one.
He knows when to delegate. He knows when and how to delegate, and he felt that his time was most effectively used putting the fear of God in the officials.
You don't have a grad student you can delegate that to? Is that a grad student job?
Grad students aren't intimidating.
Yeah, that's got to come from the top.
That's true.
Yeah. And more Big Ten. So the Purdue Boilermakers are going to win it.
This middle of this Big Ten, just, oh my God.
The best part is Northwestern's too good to be on this list.
I heard that Northwestern got overrated chanted today.
Wow.
Jesus.
Incredible. So yeah, this is like 4 through 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Riveting content, me counting. 4 through 10 in the Big Ten. Michigan, Iowa, Illinois, Michigan State, Rutgers, Wisconsin, and Penn State, all 10-7 and 8-9.
It's so starchy. Like, this is just, God, this is like potato casserole basketball.
So
It's
in this
the Midwest. What did you expect?
I know, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to talk about potatoes because I slammed tachos today and I about got my shit kicked in by you. So
do not slander tachos. They are
$7 tachos. Domino's needs to say the fuck out of the tachos.
Okay, I would and have paid $7 for tachos, but not from Domino's.
I would not trust Domino's with this.
I don't
Domino's,
trust Domino's.
The commercial was very much along the lines of, we're about delivery, and so we found out that fries suck. Like, okay, that's how the commercial starts. I'm like, okay, but you're a pizza place, so don't fuck with fries anyways. Why are you doing this? And they're like, well, the answer is tots. You answered a question that no one asked. No one wants tots from you, Domino's.
This is true. I thought on initial reading of the tweet, I thought that the concept of tachos was being slandered.
Oh, no,
I am fine with slandering Domino's. I am a Pennsylvanian. Fuck chain pizza. There are so many independent pizza places.
Nothing but Altoona pizza for you,
Altoona.
Up and down. Yep.
Yum.
They refuse to respect the Altoona ways.
Exactly.
Nothing
like beautiful salami and processed cheese.
I have never consumed Altoona pizza. Beth still owes me one at some point in the nebulous future.
At some point, we're all going to do that. Yeah.
Podcast on location.
Coming to you live from the Altoona Curve right field.
Yes. When? All right, PittGirl, the floor is yours to talk about our boy.
Yes.
Pitt victory over Syracuse.
I was in attendance for my first Pitt basketball game, I think since senior day, my senior year. I did not attend after I graduated because I graduated in 2017, and the basketball team was not good. Varying degrees of not good for the last 5 years. But I was pleased to attend the Syracuse game on Saturday. Many things of note happened, but the most notable thing is the man, the myth, the legend, one and only Aiden Fish, got into the game at the end. He is a former team manager. He started as a team manager as a freshman and then was a walk-on for 2.5, 3 seasons. And he got a scholarship. I think like this semester, got a scholarship, has gotten some time. He played against Louisville. He did not score against Louisville. He played in the non-con a little bit as well. But they put him into the Syracuse game because Pitt was up quite a lot, very, very close to hanging 100. Pitt did not hang 100 because Aiden Fish got a basket and is the proud owner of 2 ACC points after spending all of that time showing up for the shittiest fucking basketball team in the world. And I am so proud of him, and we are all so proud of him. And the zoo got, and like the state, the Pete, generally speaking, was loud in a way that it has not been since I was like a freshman or sophomore and Jamie Dixon was still there. It was not louder at any point than when Aiden Fish scored. Incredibly heartwarming. All of that was awesome. Also, the buzzer beater, the Florida State buzzer beater happened during the game, and they showed the updated ACC conference standings. Big cheer for that. Which was very satisfying. Additionally, and I don't know how much coverage this got on the Gamecast, but I want to mention it. So the zoo, also there's like the zoo news, everybody has the newspaper, they introduce the opposite team, everybody pretends to be reading the paper and like moves it down and yells that that player sucks and that the head coach sucks too.
Great gimmick.
Yes. Love it. They also shred, so you shred the paper and you have it and you keep it as confetti. When Pitt scores, you confetti the confetti, right?
Okay.
Very fun. That happened in this game, and somebody, and I don't know who, I could not see from where I was sitting if it was someone from the zoo or elsewhere, someone chucked like a rally towel onto the floor, and so play immediately halted, and the refs had to have a whole conversation about it, and Jeff Capel was like standing out on the court like, what the fuck is this? And everything, all of this, they had to have the PA guy be like, please do not throw things on the floor. The next one's a technical. So shout out to whoever did that. Don't do that. Additionally, Jim Boeheim got caught picking his nose on camera again. And I heard on Twitter the zoo had many signs of like the original picture of Jim Boeheim picking his nose on camera.
Behind one of the baskets, there were like 4.
Yes, I heard that the camera guys were supposed to be trying very hard not to show those.
It's like when you start to become aware of your tongue. Now all of a sudden you have to feel your tongue in your mouth, and now it's there. It's the same thing. Like if you know that's a thing, it's gonna come up.
I mean, all I have to say about that is that Jim Boeheim seems to have done a good enough job embarrassing himself without all of those nose-picking signs. So I appreciate the zoo for pouring it on, but not entirely necessary, actually.
He's going to find a way to blame Pitt NIL for this loss.
Oh, yeah, we bought Aiden Fish, actually.
Yeah. Bought and sold. I'm constantly amazed. The more I see people's like cheer sheets from like the very serious schools, the more like painfully embarrassed I am for these schools, because holy hell, especially the Duke ones I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I think those
it is the epitome of explaining the joke into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Good God, y'all.
Yeah.
Good God.
Oh, I forgot to mention this too. I don't know if it was make-outable on the broadcast, but Judah Mintz was heavily recruited by Pitt and committed to Pitt and then decommitted and went to Syracuse. Every time he had the ball, the zoo was chanting traitor. Every single time.
Good.
Wow.
I need to go to more D1. I need to go to more D1 basketball. God.
I would recommend it. I didn't watch basketball at all until I went to Pitt, and it's so much fun.
I need to go. I'm within pretty close drive of like UTA, North Texas, SMU. There's plenty around here. I could go to TCU and take some Dramamine and hopefully don't boot on their court.
Too bad UTA doesn't play in the auditorium anymore.
God, I know. I missed it. I missed the chance. I'll never see it.
So the only thing we have left is conference tournaments are actually starting tomorrow.
Yes.
The A-Sun is playing tomorrow.
This is the part I love.
Bellarmine Knights are playing tomorrow.
Yes.
The national championship from last year, because they won their conference tournament but then could not go to the NCAA tournament. So claim it. But the best seeded ones, we can have a discussion about the reseeding of the Horizon League, which I think is heinous and terrible personally. But the WCC's is just beautiful. It's so many unnecessary buys.
Yeah, I'll pull it up again now that we actually have the bracket.
Plus, BYU this is BYU's last year in this tournament, so I don't know what they're going to do when they have an uneven number of teams.
I dropped it in the Discord.
Add like Portland Bible.
This awesome bracket. It is a gauntlet of whatever. 10 seed Pepperdine is always going to be my favorite. I believe in 10 seed Pepperdine. But yeah, this is the one where you get 3 buys if you're the 1 or 2 seed. The Ohio Valley Conference is also doing something very similar to this.
Yeah, again, this just feels like this is an anime series plot. Like this is like Pepperdine is a shonen protagonist and just needs to make its way up the power levels.
I don't think they're going to. I'm not remembering
who or what year, but I think there was a team that one year made it from the first round to the semifinal, and then like everybody was cramping in the semifinal game because they had played a lot of games in a lot of days.
Yeah,
they do give them one day in between the quarters and the semis. That is the one nice thing, to get the Sunday off. From what I could find, I've only ever seen a 4 seed win this tournament. That's the lowest seed I could find that has won the tournament in this format. A 4 seed got it once. No 3 seed has ever won it. Surprise. But past that, nada. Like it is just built to get 2 teams into the finals.
Yeah. Do you think the point of this tournament is that the conference sees that the NCAA tournament is going to take the tournament champion to be in the tournament, automatic bids? And so now that they have the automatic bid, they want to make it so that their best teams have the easiest way in instead of anybody can.
This was also to keep Gonzaga in the conference. Also, when Gonzaga was starting to look like they were in a bolt.
Yeah, I was going to say
so let them win easier.
That it's pro Gonzaga bias to give them only 2 games to win the conference tournament, because they're always I presume that they've been the 1st or 2nd seed every year. They're the 2nd seed this year because St. Mary's won the conference because Gonzaga lost at home. They're technically tied.
They're tied, right?
Yeah. Because they've split, and each one has dropped another game. But St. Mary's is the 1 seed.
But yeah,
So,
this is just beautiful.
I understand why you would do that as a conference, but it feels really gross. It's like when during the COVID season when the Big Ten was looking at like screwing over Indiana. Not that it ever came to pass, but if it had, I would have been like, it's just like, I get why you do it. I understand why the incentives are there, but like, if you're looking at it from a sports perspective, it sucks.
This to me makes more sense in a real 1-team conference. If you're going to get 1 bid, the West Coast Conference, they'll get 2, probably.
Yeah, and some years they get 3 when BYU is good, or when San Francisco is good, or when Santa Clara, who I thought was going to be a little better this year, when they're good. But this is really usually a 1-bid league, and now St. Mary's is at the level where they're also going to get in as an at-large. So they could change. They're going to have to change it when BYU leaves. So it's going to be interesting to see what they change it to.
But if they can still get 2 bids, they still want the best opportunity for one of those 2 teams to win the tournament. Because
you don't want one of them going out in like the first round or whatever. Right. Let's talk about the Horizon thing, because I have some opinions.
Yeah, what do you think? I think it's crazy.
Well, first off, I'll pull it up.
Our beautiful IUPUI are, of course, playing on the first day.
They are. So they do sort of the NFL kind of thing, where they reseed after every round. So round 1 is the 5-12, 6-11, 7-10, and 8-9, and then they reseed, and then they reseed again. I like this. This to me makes sense, because it doesn't get you weird about how, like, there's issues with these kinds of brackets where you end up not playing quote unquote the easiest schedule. You'll get the easiest draw, whatever. This to me makes sense, but I know that for lots of basketball people, the idea of reseeding is a fucking heresy.
I just think it privileges the top seed. Like, it's not there. There's no way to how would I put it? Like, if the 12 seed beats the 5 seed, they should just like slide in and play who they're going to play next, in my mind. I don't know. That just makes sense to me. I understand on principle, like, okay, yeah, this seems okay, but there's something like within my heart that does not like this. I can't really. I thought I was going to be able to explain it, but I guess I can't.
No, I sort of get what you're saying, but I also feel like it's a good way to sort of correct for, like, you see every year in the big tournament that, like, there's always a team that gets overseeded because they have a shiny name next to them, or a team that gets underseeded because they don't. This is potentially a way to correct for that a little bit, but I, like, at a conference level, I don't know that matters as much because there aren't as many teams.
Yeah, that's true. This is going to be a good tournament, though, by the way. There's like 3 teams that could pretty easily win this.
I think as far as fairness, it makes a lot of sense. Like, why not have the team that did best during the regular season get privileged to face the worst team going forward? But I think what Andrew's trying to communicate is that the vibes of it are off. Mm-hmm. Like, vibes of the tournament of the low seed team, gets the upset, and now they get a easier matchup because they got the upset than somebody else would have. It's, it's fun.
Well, this bracket, I'm looking at the bracket on Wikipedia also, and just because of the number of teams, like, it's just so janky looking.
Yeah. I think the reason I like it is because it preserves the importance of getting those top 4 seeds without doing what the West Coast Conference does and absolutely sandbagging them for 3 rounds. Mm-hmm. Like, this feels like a better balance to make those seeds important, but not have to, give 3 buys leading up to it, whatever weirdness they have there. I love conference tournament season for a lot of reasons. This is when I start getting interested, just because all the tournaments are so not weirdly done or whatever. They're so many options. You can see how each conference really goes into it thinking, okay, this is how we're going to get the outcome that is best for us. And so you have the conferences that that most teams are going to get bids, like the Big 12, where, okay, we'll just do it straightforward. We got X number of teams, we'll just do it straightforward. But then you have these one bid leagues trying to sort of, the ASUN had the weird one.
That's the one that's starting tomorrow.
Right. And they have a weird one because their first round seeding is bizarre. They have the 9 and 10 playing and the 7 and 8 playing.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna reseed, maybe that works.
They don't reseed though.
Oh well, never mind then.
Here,
rescind.
I'll post that one. They don't reseed, but so that means that instead of getting the winner of the 7-10, Kansas State's getting the winner of the 9-10 game, which is a small change, but again, fundamentally changes. Like everyone, right? We're all having that face of like, this feels weird, and I'm not sure why.
I wonder what the logic for that is, because like I don't feel like it's particularly likely for a like 7-8 game to be meaningfully more competitive than a 7-10 game.
Wait, they also reseed.
Oh, they reseed after this. Oh god,
only after that next call.
So they reseed. Oh Jesus Christ!
Why is it always different? They reseed after the semifinals.
Yes,
the semifinals.
The best about this, Andrew, was that I've been trying to get the schedule cleared up to make sure I know what games are on what day. I've been having to try to find. Oh God!
Behold the watch grid.
Trying to find out basically
my personal watch grid. Piece of ripped loosely paper.
Like every conference's website, trying to find what they think their bracket is going to look like, and up until like a week ago, only half of the conferences even had a bracket, even a blank bracket up. Like this is so vibes based. And like clearly they had to have had this plan for months, but just buried. Couldn't find it. Had to dig through like handbooks and shit to find these things.
The bylaws of the conference.
Yes,
I
was having to read conference fucking bylaws.
Dear random college basketball conferences, let us plan your tournaments. I promise it'll go better.
Dream job is to run Arch Madness. I think that would be really fun.
Arch Madness. I'm super excited. I've never heard that phrase before. I love it.
Yeah, that's the Missouri Valley. A couple of teams have left the Missouri Valley the last couple of years, but it still should be really fun.
I want a 16-team conference with World Cup pool play.
Ooh.
Someone write to Greg Sankey.
What's the D3 conference that has all the Penn State schools?
Oh, it's not the PSAC. It's like it has a name very similar to the PSAC. Hang on.
It's just like the Penn State Conference.
It basically is. It's Penn State branch campuses, athletic.
Yeah, the Pennsylvania State University Athletic Conference. Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's see what their bracket looks like.
The PSWAC.
The PSWAC. PSWAC. So we have in the East Division, we have, and don't correct my pronunciation because Beth will require that later on.
We have Penn State, and Penn State.
Yes. In the East Division, we have the 1 seed is Brandywine, the 2 seed is Schuylkill, the 3rd is Wilkes-Barre, and the 4th is Lehigh Valley. In the West Division, we have Mont Alto, Greater Allegheny, New Kensington, and Fayette.
Good try.
It's Schuylkill.
You guys are just trying to make me make weird faces again.
I'm sensing I'm wrong. I've spent a little bit of time in Albany where they have like there's a river or stream with that name.
I'm just super happy for all the Penn State. Penn State Shenango? Shenango's a great name. Shenango, Scranton, New Kensington. These aren't real places. Anyways.
Honestly, several of these places are not in fact real places. I cannot be convinced that Penn State Fayette is real.
The best was when I was like, there was another conference. I think it was the PSAC that had like 3 Penn States. I was like, how many more Penn States can you have at a conference? And the college logo folks were like, you could have a conference full of Penn States. Well then, okay.
Isn't the plural Penns? No.
But they're not all Nittany Lions.
No.
There's like 9 Nittany Lions, 2 Mountain Lions, and then like a something lion.
Pitt's branch campuses are all like technically Panther variants. Also, I looked this up one time and like, one of them is the Black Panthers, and one of them is the Golden Panther. Like, they're all variants. They're not all exactly the Panthers. So
they're all fake animals that don't actually exist. We've covered this before.
Words are socially constructed. They can mean whatever we want them to mean.
I thought you were going to say that they were like cougar, mountain lion, puma,
Jaguarundi. Although Jaguarundi is not technically I don't think Jaguarundi is actually not technically a jaguar, which is funny.
The Erie Nittany Ligers.
Okay, so we don't need to do Drive to Survive. We can do that later on because we're gonna swing back by when F1 starts up again.
I do want that Gunther and Mattia series.
Is like that picture was adorable. I wonder what Mattia
opening of the series.
So I did not realize that Mattia was Swiss.
Yeah,
he's Swiss. But he's not even from like Italian Switzerland.
He's from
Lucerne.
French Switzerland.
Yeah. And then Gunther speaks German, but is from Italy. And because he's from South Tyrol, which is the German-speaking part of Italy. So, God, you're up.
Thanks, Holy Roman Empire. I definitely know you had something to do with this.
Oh, 100%. There is some the Palatine elector of South Tyrol did this or something.
When in doubt, blame Charlemagne.
Mm-hmm. That is every CK2 playthrough I've ever had. When in doubt, blame Charlemagne.
Blame Charlemagne. It's like
gotta get in that CK3.
I gotta get in the CK3. I should have put this at the front because this is college football related. But do we all see Jim Harbaugh moving a tree?
I did not see this.
Yeah, I mentioned the ice storm.
Let me find you the video. Yeah,
the ice storm.
The video is very wholesome, honestly. Not that I'm biased or anything, but the best part was the dad interchange. Like, "You're a good man. Let him know." It was very wholesome.
Honestly, my favorite part is the fact that he rolled up in a van.
It was definitely like a Sienna minivan.
You know what? I can see it. I can see Jim Harbaugh driving a dadmobile like that.
Oh, you hold all the kids, all this stuff. It's great.
You fit all the offensive linemen in here.
I'll use my powers. Hold up.
Oh, you're gonna. Yes. Yeah. We'll have to see if this actually like works in the podcast.
Yeah, we'll see. Otherwise, I'm gonna have some really fun audio to cut.
Push it this way? I guess, yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's a big ass tree.
A little better.
It is a big ass tree.
Clear one lane at least.
He's wearing jeans.
I mean, what else would you be wearing?
It was like 28 degrees Fahrenheit in Michigan. Of course, he's wearing jeans and a sweater and a flannel.
Should do for a lane.
He's wearing a hat.
Yeah. All right. What's your name? Cooper. Cooper, nice to meet you. Yeah. You as well. Thank you, sir. You're a good man. Oh, hey, feel free to spread the word on that. Of course. I feel like you gotta keep that to yourself. No way. You're a good guy. Whew. Well, I appreciate you again, man.
This is so Midwestern.
Thank you.
Isn't it?
You have a good night. That works. Yeah.
Honestly, the low-key funniest part to me is when he says, "I'm Jim."
No kidding.
Yeah, we know.
If you're in Ann Arbor and you don't know who Jim Harbaugh is, I'm trying to imagine the person that lives in Ann Arbor that does not know who Jim Harbaugh is. It's not like being Lincoln Riley in California and being able to blend in and knows who the fuck you are 10 feet from campus.
Yeah.
Come on.
Gosh, I hope when Lincoln Riley goes out in public, people are just like, "Teach your kids how to tackle."
See, now, next time I go to California to see the in-laws, I'm going to hang around campus just so or whenever I see him go someplace, I'm paranoid.
Just go to campus in a 2-lane shirt.
Everybody rolls up on USC in the home field angry wave shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all we got for tonight. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
No, make your cheat sheets.
Make your cheat sheets. ASUN basketball starts tomorrow at 7 p.m. for some bizarre reason. It's late in the day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 games on at the same time because it's campus sites. I don't know why they're on at the same time. If you're like a reporter that covers both the conference, like, are you supposed to watch both? Whatever.
Super juicy. Okay, folks, we will see you all on Tuesday then when we record again. It's good to be back. Take it easy.